Welcome to the Real from Home. Are y'all ready for some girl chat?
Yes, so ready.
All right. So turn on and turn offs obviously vary from person to person, you know. But according to a new poll, a majority of Americans apparently agree that one of their dating deal breakers is a dirty car, a filthy automobile. New research by one poll shows not only do 70% of Americans think a messy car is a turnoff, but 51%, so barely over the half mark, but still a majority, admitted they would actually end a first date early because of it. So, ladies, have you ever dumped a dude for having a dirty car, or is a man more than his mess? I'm the only one out here who's still out in the world, but I will let you all answer as if you are.
This has never happened to me. No, I've never not dated someone because of a messy car. But when I thought about it, if this happened to me, I would feel offended on two levels, and it depends. Okay. Number one, if we had set up for him to pick me up on that first date.
Yep.
And that means you thought that that's how you would approach me. Like, and there's different levels of dirty. There's a difference between messy and filthy.
And rank.
Filth is rank. That's called rotten McDonald's sitting on your front seat and a McFlurry has melted.
100% agree with
that. Now, you did not prepare properly for the idea that you would have me in your car and you didn't prepare. That's offensive. So I thought about it that way, because originally when I heard this, I was like, no, I'd give him a chance. Then I thought about it and I was like, you really don't care. It's a level of.
What does it tell you? Because what does it tell you, ladies, if you find that his car is sticky, stanky, musty? What does that tell you about his own personal hygiene? Is there a correlation?
Yes. Yes.
I think there's also a correlation between their consideration. Like, you knew I was about to get in this vehicle. I don't even feel comfortable when I give my car to the valet and it's not presentable. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Don't judge me. I feel like I got to give you an extra tip because there's like a water bottle yard, you know, like I'm collecting, like, you know, so, but I had this happen. I had somebody pick me up from a date, and it was the first time that I was like seeing their car, and I was in their town for the first time. So it was like a big deal. And when I got to the vehicle, not only was the inside a mess, the outside, it was like, did you go mudding this morning? Like what journey were you on the way here? And then when I got in the car, it was like just disarray, just garbage. I'm like, I don't understand. And he looked at me and was like, do you have a problem? Like, it was like I was being tested. And that's what made me feel.
Nah.
I mean, he turned out to be a very evil person. But
it's like he said without saying, this is me and I don't plan to change. You cool? Right?
And you know what's crazy? Is that his car was filled with garbage and so was his soul. So.
That's not good.
Oh, no.
And just because, Amanda, I know because Tamara and Adrian haven't had that experience, but Amanda, isn't it the weirdest feeling when you get into a car that's messy, dirty, cluttered, fill in blank? It's such a weird, awkward, like you don't just slide in and go like, hey, hi, mwah, mwah,
no.
let's go. It's literally like oh, sorry, wait, are you okay if no, go ahead.
Almost like they weren't aware that you're getting in the car. Did they not?
They didn't care.
Okay, I have a question.
What if they apologized and said, I'm sorry, I was really busy. I've been, trying to cure cancer, and I just wasn't able to do it.
So
I'm working on a COVID-19 vaccine.
Right.
What if he was just caught off guard, that particular day? Like Lonnie was saying, maybe he has a job. I'm just saying, y'all know I am like really clean to the point that I could possibly, I want to be sensitive when I say this, but OCD, like, mannerisms. But there have been days where my car was a mess because I was just so busy and I couldn't get to it that day. So say you go on a first date, right? You Ubered right, to the first date, and then you were vibing, and then you were like, hey, you want to take me home? He was unprepared. He was like,
different.
oh crap. So that's different.
What I said. I said that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. If it wasn't planned,
but I'm just saying
that the apology makes it different. The fact of you getting in the car and that person recognizing, wow, this isn't the way I would want to present
the car's a mess.
Then you say that because it also lets you know this is not how I wanted you to receive this. This isn't what I wanted to present to you. I value you. This is not what I want to offer to you.
For me, it's different levels of dirty.
I'm sorry, the car's a mess right now. You guys would be fine.
But when they planned it.
But this is the thing. There's different levels of I think dirtiness. Like, this was a friend. This wasn't somebody I was dating, but just a friend. Like, they have kids, right? Their car got stuff stuck in the carpet, and they got toys everywhere. And it's just like, that's a whole different...
with dog poo-poo just in the back of the seat. Like,
that's rank. That's nasty.
Okay. I think we get it.
Well, you guys, if you want to get into an argument with a man over his messy car, this next topic might just be very helpful to you. A recent New York Times article wanted to help their readers learn how to argue productively so that they don't end up wasting their time. That's right. There's actually a skill involved in having a good argument. They suggest doing things like learning your own triggers, asking questions to understand where the other person is coming from, and to try and gauge whether people are arguing from their head or their heart. What do you guys think about this? So ladies, like, would you say that you're like a productive arguer or not?
I think I would rather, at my age, I don't want to focus on arguing. I want to focus on resolving. I think if you try to get the skill set to be really good at arguing, you're just going to be that person that people don't look forward to having deep conversations with, or even just getting some arguing is so tiring. So look for ways to resolve.
What is there is no arguing though? Arguing for a solution versus just arguing to argue. I think sometimes the argument is necessary because people got to get their sides out. But sometimes it feels like, wait a minute. Oh, you're not even trying to find a solution. You just want to do this.
Yes, that's the person I'm talking about, Amanda. I don't like that person.
The person who just likes drama and they like to argue for the sake of arguing.
Or they like to hear themselves talk, Tamara. They like to hear themselves talk.
I will say this. Those, I think, are amazing tips to have a productive or whatever argument. But at the same time, sometimes when you're in it, you're like, you're in it. So what I found that has helped me just in general with Adam and I, when we start an argument, we always say that it's not me against you, it's us against the problem. And when we see it that way, we resolve, Jeannie and Amanda, the situation easier before things are said. Because, sometimes when you argue, you say things that may not be able to, you can't really take it back.
My husband always likes to say, we're on the same team, right?
Yeah.
That's so comforting. And then that almost reframes the conversation.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Then when I argue, I try to listen. I'm listening to what the person is arguing with me about, because then that's the hard part, because I'm trying to listen to understand how am I going to get to a solution. But I think that's the most important part, is to listen first and try to get to some solution.
I have a second rule to that. I want to add, Lonnie.
Sorry, Lonnie, you're an amazing person to have an argument with. We have had our arguments, but you hit the nail on the head. You listen with the intent of understanding. And when you are in that moment and you see your face like trying to truly understand what you're saying, something happens and you start to kind of like just relax and be like, okay, relax. I'm the only one that's
revved up.
Yes, revved up. She's amazing to argue with, just saying.
I also think there's other just rules that are just good to consider. Like, number one, don't make assumptions. If you're going to get it to somebody, allow the person the space to explain where they're coming from and what they're feeling, because feelings are valid. So don't make assumptions about what they should have said, what they meant, all that. And number two, I really learned to not get into arguments on the gram. I think that if you really want to take it up with somebody, hit them up in the DMs, even if it's like a fan or whatever. It is such a waste of time to get into the comments and to go ta 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 with somebody who doesn't care really about the argument itself, or sometimes is just angry with their own situations and wants to spew it on you, and you're just taking it all in for the world to see. So, with the comments.
I personally don't find it to be a waste of time. I consider it to be target practice for verbal usage, for dealing with hecklers.
Too much energy.
Because you're not on stage. When you're on stage as a comic, you have hecklers, and you need to know how to fire back. And also, when you're having like these conversations with folks about like politics, et cetera, like I feel like I always need to have a very quick wit. And so oftentimes, like when I'm having these exchanges in the comments, I'm literally practicing my quick wit. I'm also practicing how to respond without having an emotional attachment. Like, to me, I don't want to be in arguments. I'll do a debate all day. Like, you argue with someone you love.
Different.
You know what I'm
debate
saying? Like,
different.
that's
Absolutely.
People in the comments be trying to argue, and it's like, oh, baby, like, I don't know you. This is not an argument. An argument has emotion. A debate.
I'm not engaging with
that. I just want to add a little something to what Jeannie said. While feelings are absolutely super valid, I think it's important when you're arguing to be able to separate feelings from facts. Especially in relationships. You have to say, okay, this may be my feeling, but that's not necessarily a fact. And that's where you go from assumptions. Like, I can assuming can cause me to feel some type of way, but when you are having an argument, make sure that you present the facts and that you're not just spewing out what you feel.
Yes. And make sure you're responding to the facts and not just what the person feels.
Not when it comes to my relationship, because not when it comes to my relationship. No, because I'm trying to win the argument. So I'm going to say whatever it needs to be said.
You know what? Lonnie's coming on here trying to stir the pot. But the reality is that sometimes, like, someone will say something and be like, you did this. Now, you know that you didn't do that. And the hardest part is having to remove yourself from the accusation to think about, why are they feeling this way? And not letting their accusation put you in defense mode. And now we arguing about the argument. You know what I'm saying? So it is so hard. It takes so much practice. And the biggest thing that I will say is try, and this is why Lonnie probably is such a great arguer. Try your hardest to just listen to what has been said, not how it has been said. Because you're that takes the argument to a whole, we now on a whole other thing.
Yeah.
A whole other thing.
I love that we're talking here about resolving, because obviously that means that we all prefer to be productive. But did you know that procrastinating can seriously negatively affect any project you're trying to work on? So you got to fix it by starting earlier, right? Well, according to psychology professor David Rosenbaum, it turns out that you can actually start too early. So his research focuses on what he calls procrastination, which is the tendency to rush too quickly into tasks, which results in spending unnecessary effort that could have been avoided with just a little bit more planning. So if it's not just about the extra effort, he also adds that in a rush, you can get things done that you run the risk of doing incomplete or inaccurately. Ladies, are you a procrastinator?
I'm not going to lie. I actually put preparation into my procrastination. So I'm a mix of both of these things.
Jesus?
Give me an example. I literally would wait for the last moment to do something, but I prepared myself for waiting till the last moment to do it. For instance, let's say that I have something for work that I have to do for Instagram. That's like a work thing for us. Okay. I will literally prepare, like in my mind, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do it. A lot of people don't know that for influencers, you have to actually get something approved so that you can post it if you're working with a brand, right? I will have this whole thing in my mind of exactly how I want to do it, but I will wait till the very last second to do it. But I'm fully prepared for what I have to do. Does that make sense? So while I do it at the last moment,
I
don't know. I kind of think I get fuel from doing things at the last moment. It's almost like, like it's like, yeah, what is that? It's like, I was for this. Yeah, it feels like, can you do it? It's a challenge. I don't know. It's some kind of mental game I play with myself.
I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like I'm still in control of my life. You know what I mean? Like it feels like Like my work isn't running me. I'm running my work.
Yeah,
and I'll
get to it, take it
when I
to the limit, just living on the edge.
But why is it though? I do agree that sometimes that rush, Adrienne, feels so good when you procrastinate to the last minute. Yeah. Do you guys also notice when it comes to anything where you have to be creative, the creative juices flow at that last minute where you come up. Joe, there has been times for a birthday that I will not know the gift to get the person. I will not know what they want. And it'll be months. I'll know months ahead. I have my Google alert and everything, but I still don't know until the actual last hour. And then boom, it comes to me. And there I am running to go put that gift together. And it turns out to be the best gift ever. But it took me all that procrastination to get that creativity.
But you see there's some preparation in that procrastination. You were thinking about it for a month.
You think that what?
I feel that
you were. That's real.
All right.
You were thinking about it, and it took you going through process versus procrastination. Let's call it process to arrive at the right thing.